Imagine with me that one day you were very tired, and you decided that you would go to the doctor as soon as you went to the doctor, and you asked him, how can you treat the problem that you have? Answer you with this response, I swear. I don't remember exactly. We took this subject at university, but I honestly don't remember what medication you can take. Oh no, honestly I don't. I don't remember very much. Didn't you let me go around and ask my friends, and then I'll answer you? Let me ask you this question, will you agree on a doctor? I don't remember the information he took at the university. I don't remember his specialty. The answer to this question, for you, could it be an answer? It is very clear that no one can trust a person who is unable to remember the simplest details. The simple details that are part of your life, the need that you work or the need that you study affect a very large portion of people. Do you think that he has a problem with forgetfulness? He forgets names of people, or forgets numbers, or forgets information in a certain lesson, or forgets certain dates, but the writer. How do we obsess over what he sees? The problem that most people have is not that they do not have a problem with forgetting, but rather that it is a group of problems that you can work on and solve, so that you can strengthen the memory that you have. The writer, Kevin Horsley, is able to reach the stage where he has an iron memory. He has reached the level of Grand Master, or the highest level in which he is able to remember information, is able to achieve numbers on the hundreds. 2 rooms. Vicky? How is your steak? How does it come? And in this book he tries to share some practical steps, some steps that will help you to strengthen the memory you have, and in this episode we will focus on 4 main points for things that will help you to strengthen the memory you have. Or the need is the action or focus. The second thing will be my memories of fiddy or creativity. The third thing is the Jordanian like shin or the arrangement, and the fourth and final need is the idea of a review or review. As we said before in the book The Productivity Project, one of the most important elements of productivity is focus or concentration. If you maintain focus, it not only helps you to be a productive person, but it also helps you to have a strong memory, and the writer quotes studies that say as soon as you try to focus on more than one thing at the same time, your concentration rate will decrease by at least 50%, and studies also show that if you talk on the phone you are bad. This may make you feel that you are stepping on the brakes, half a mile, slower than normal, and if you calculate this matter, you will find that if you are walking at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour, you will find that you need an additional 15 meters to stop completely, and this unit is enough for that. The person comes into a car accident. So the writer says focus is a very important thing, and you must try as much as possible to avoid multitasking or multitasking. And at the same time the writer is between the right thing called pal pi Cyril. The idea of pal passer is a symbol of pervis interest and curiosity, or the object of interest and curiosity. The idea of a goal is that you set yourself a specific goal that you want to achieve, such as, for example, that you want to get a promotion at your job, or that you, for example, are studying a new field such as programming. The more you have a goal, the more you really want to achieve it, the more it will be. A scorer, you must focus more on the goal you want to achieve. Thus, your memory improves, and if you want to increase interest and curiosity, all you have to do is ask yourself questions that help you. Why do you think to yourself? Are you interested in this subject? Why do you want to reach this goal? Therefore, you can increase your ability to understand the information, and therefore you can memorize it better. Writer how? Horsley says that one of the most important things you can do to strengthen your memory is to use your creativity. You can transform very boring information using your creativity into information that you can remember. Were you old before that? Why did you ask yourself? Can you remember a certain piece of information? Did you hear it on video, while you could forget this information if you read it in a specific book? The simple answer is that when you watch a specific video, You engage more senses as you watch the video, thus increasing your ability to remember what you are watching, and that is why the writer suggests that you use two methods. The first method is called cinema, FD. The second method is called 4C, fixed. The first method, which is the C fixed, is the symbol for the three letters of each letter in it, which does not mean a specific word. The first letter represents the word sense. Or if you feel that you are increasing the senses that you use, so that you can understand the information better, and you can remember this information. For example, one of the things that can help you is that you understand the information or remember it better than the book is that you, instead of reading, but the book. You try to read out loud and hear yourself, so that you take advantage of more than one sense that you have, so that you can understand the information better, and remember it better. As for the first letter E, it symbolizes the word prepared. You ran, or if you exaggerate. For example, the writer's name is Kevin Horsley. If you want to think of the writer's name, you try to use creative methods to be able to think of his name. You can create the word Horsley for the word horse or horse. Because you are exaggerating in describing the horse, you can imagine that this horse has a full body and has very large wings. The idea is that you use exaggerated descriptions. This helps you remember something that may be boring or monotonous for you. It may be difficult for you if you remember it. As for the last letter E, it symbolizes the word energizer, and it means that you put energy into the thing that you want. Think about if we go back to the name of the writer, which is Kevin Horsley, and imagine that he is a horse with wings. Can we imagine that this horse is running very fast, or that he is flying over a certain city? You always put in some kind of energy that helps you think about this moment, some kind of quick event that could happen, which you can think about easier. The second creative method that you can use to remember information better is the proven 4C method. The deep method symbolizes 4 words. The first word is concentrated, or you focus. The second word is create or being, or if you create images. The third word is that you are sixth, or that you connect ideas, and the fourth and final word is continues, or use on average. For example, if you want to remember specific sentences that you have learned from a new language, you start with the first stage, which is the concentration stage. You focus on these words, you read the sentences once, 2, or 3 times, and after you apply this step, you apply the second step, which is that you create a kind of the pictures. You try to turn the words you are trying to understand into images that you can remember, and this method is similar to the first method that we talked about, a method that helps you use drawings so that you can understand the idea and remember it better. As for the third step, it is the idea of linking the ideas that you try to link to needs that you have with information that exists in your brain and is stored in your memory. For example, if you want to learn a new language like Spanish, and you want to memorize certain words, and you want to be able to actually remember these words, try to connect the new words with words you have in memory, words you have in your mother tongue. And you can do this whether you connect it to ideas you already have, with certain sounds that you memorize, or with certain similar words that you try to connect to the new word in this way. It requires training from you, but the method can help you greatly, provided that you increase your ability to memorize. As for the fourth step, which is the continuous use step, your goal is to use the new thing that you have learned continuously so that you can transfer it from short-term memory to long-term memory. For example, when you learn a language, you are trying to use it because you speak this language with many people. You are trying to write the same words. You are trying to make sure that you do not leave this language for a long time. So that you can remember the words and not forget what you have learned. The next step may appear to you as a strange step, but it is the step you use to organize your thoughts. This step requires some effort from you, and it is the organizing step. This idea you use when you have something complicated, you try to divide it, the parts you try to organize, and you try to put them in a way. What is in your mind, such that you can remember it? For example, if you want to memorize a number like 1034, if you want to memorize this number, you can say, for example, 1 plus 0.4 equals 3, or, for example, if you want to memorize a specific person's mobile number, you try to complete his name and put the numbers in a different order. Numbers, you can memorize them and connect them in a specific way so that you can memorize the number completely. The idea here is that if you want to remember certain names, or if you remember specific names, try to name them and arrange them in a way that suits your imagination so that you can remember them in the long term. If you are studying a subject that contains a certain amount of information and you are preparing a class for this subject, then you will spend more than 24 hours, and you will forget approximately 50% of the words that were said in this lecture, and if it ends, you will study an entire major, and you will almost forget most of the things that you studied. So most likely you won't find someone who can actually apply this need in the practical field. That's why writer Kevin Horsley says that you are supposed to do something very important, which is an idea. The review is that you review the information that you mentioned, or the things that you want to remember, review it after a day, review it after 3 days, review it after 7 days, review it after a month, and review it after 2 months, and every period you try to do as much as you can. If you refer to the information that you see as, for you, the important information that you really want to remember, this step may turn out to be a simple step, but it is a very important step. It confirms the information in your brain and transfers it from short-term memory to long-term memory. If you want to strengthen your memory, you need to focus on 4 important points. The first point is that you focus on increasing the energy or focus that you have, and this thing you do mainly by trying as much as possible to avoid money, sitting, or multitasking. The second idea is that you focus on increasing the creativity that you have so that you can remember information easier, and the third step is that you try to organize your thoughts so that you are able to think about complex ideas in a way that you can understand, and in a way that you can actually think in the long term. As for the fourth and final step, it is the idea of review, that you review the information that I think it is important to you once, twice, or 3 times at different intervals, so that you can keep it in memory for a long time. Yes, I hope you benefited and enjoyed this episode. If you liked the episode and like and share this video, it will help a lot.